What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 109 of the Game Moose podcast. We're having a Labo day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm one of your hosts, Ryan Tevert, alongside the Broccoli Brock McLaughlin.
What's a Labo day, Ryan?
Yeah, what is that?
What is that?
What does that
I
mean?
don't know, man. I'm just, rolling with the punches here, making stuff up. I mean, it's kind of my thing, right?
In the same way that Nintendo just makes up words now.
Hey, Labo is not totally made up. There's a meaning behind it. Speaking of which, the ghost with the most Drew McMillan is the voice you just heard. The disembodied voice of a ghost.
Yes.
He's not actually a ghost.
Yeah. I died, and now I'm haunting this studio.
I thought you were haunting the Destiny 2 servers, and that's why they weren't working.
I'm also doing that.
Okay.
I played it yesterday.
Oh.
Yeah. We'll talk
true.
about that later.
We'll
All
talk
right.
about that later. Speaking of what we'll talk about later, coming up on today's show, we are going to talk about peripherals because video game peripherals are really cool. So we're going to talk about some of our favorites. We're also going to tell you all about the release date for Life is Strange Before the Storm's epilogue, as well as we're going to talk about Fable because Fable is a cool topic and we're going to talk about it. But first, speaking of Nintendo Labo segue, Nintendo on Wednesday, or was it Thursday? It was Thursday or Wednesday. I can't remember. Anyways, doesn't matter.
A day this week.
Basically, there was a message that came up from Nintendo saying, hey, by the way, this afternoon there will be an announcement of a new interactive piece of software for children and children at heart. Well, there was a short video released on Nintendo's YouTube, but basically they announced Nintendo Labo, which is their new string of peripherals. However, these peripherals are not like other peripherals, ladies and gentlemen. They're made of cardboard, which is cool. So basically, there's going to be 2 packs, and they each come with their own set of software because I guess there's like a game that goes along with these. Like Labo support is not being added to games that already exist. They're going to have their own set of games going forward, I guess. So there's a robot kit where basically there's a game where you play as a big robot. You strap on, you make this little cardboard robot backpack.
Yeah,
you strap it on.
Yeah, there's a cardboard strap on.
And this is a game we saw back from the Wii U days.
Yeah, exactly. It was like Project Robot, I think. It was like one of the tech demos they were showing. Is its own game now. So that's going to be the kit for that comes with just that is $69.99 US. There are no Canadian pricing.
Oh, I bet
for any of this stuff.
I bet that strap-on kit is $69.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
makes sense.
it'll all make sense when I tell you the release date for this stuff, which is 4/20.
Boom!
Boom. Because nothing says getting high and putting cardboard together.
Yeah.
I can manage that.
Let's be real here. Nintendo, they 100% are smoking like dank herb over there, right? That's what's going on. They're like, hey guys, we can like totally build some cool cardboard shit and play video games with them and get totally fucking big.
Where you can pretend you're a robot while wearing a backpack with string.
Yeah, that's
Like
what I
with
think.
the
which is something I want to do. Is something I do already.
It's something I do when I get high.
Yeah.
Is I like make cardboard suits. It's funny. I actually did do that for a period of time. There's a thing called Box Fight where my friends and I in high school we used to build cardboard robot suits and then beat the shit out of each other and film it.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like they were inspired by all those people who come to like Comic-Con dressed as a Gundam and just are like wearing a cardboard box that has Gundam written on it.
I really feel like I was ahead of the curve now.
Yeah.
Like shit, that was like 20 years ago.
If anything, Nintendo owes you $1.
Yeah.
For stealing your idea.
What up, Nintendo?
Yeah.
I appreciate you doing it on 420 though.
Yeah.
I do. I find that very humorous.
Yeah.
So if I was to guess Canadian pricing, it'll be probably $20 more than the US pricing, so it'll probably be $89.99 Canadian.
We don't know.
We don't know. This is just me guessing.
We specifically asked our Nintendo rep. We're like, "Hey, what's up?" Because she said, she sent us the press release, and we're like,
So what?
It was like Canadian pricing TBA, and we're like, "So what is it?
Yeah.
Are you gonna let us know, or what's going on?"
Yeah, because there's a very real chance it could be more than that. It could be less. We'll find out.
Well, let's detail all the kits first, and then we'll talk about the pricing because that's a little contentious.
Because we're about to talk about the more expensive kit. So the variety kit includes toy RC cars. So there are 2 remote controlled cars you can build out of the cardboard. Comes in this pack. It also includes a Toy-Con because they're calling these Toy-Cons like Joy-Con fishing rod. So you can build your own fishing rod that is blue. It looks very fancy.
It kind of looks a little bit like the bass arcade game kind of thing.
Yeah.
Bass
like
Hunter.
Yeah.
Bass Hunter.
All those
Is that what it's
fishing
Yeah.
games.
there's a
Not to be
million
confused with my favorite game, Ass Hunter.
called. Oh yeah, Ass Hunters. Yeah, I search for that on Pornhub a lot.
The sounds about right. There's a Toy-Con house, so you can build a little house. It's very cute. You can even paint it. Comes with stuff to color it in with, like I think they're crayons, but it doesn't really say on the
And
press
you
info.
put a cardboard button on the side of it for some reason.
Well, what you can do is you can actually put the screen, the Nintendo Switch screen, on it, and then apparently that's how you play the game. It's like it interacts with stuff inside the house.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
It's an odd thing.
There's a motorbike, so you can build a motorbike that doesn't have wheels, but it's like the frame of a motorcycle,
Okay.
and then you ride around on it like you did as a kid. You'd build your own little like motorcycle. And then last but not least, there's a 13-key piano that you can build.
Yeah.
That's my favorite accessory.
It's
I'm gonna
definitely the
Mozart the shit out of that little thing.
Yeah. Just getting fucking just raw dog.
It just reminds me of playing Mario Paint with the music composer.
Yeah, that was the first place I went to when I saw that. But again, how does that even work?
I don't know. Well, I mean, how everything sort of works is that on on each design, there's like a little hole where you put the Joy-Cons.
Yeah.
And the way it detects the motion is that it uses in combination with the HD rumble, it also uses the IR sensors on the Joy-Con, and it's that's how it detects movement. So when you press the keys down, for example, it's going to triangulate the distance away from the Joy-Con it is, and that's how it's going to figure out what key you're playing.
Like the robot kit literally has a bunch of strings that then go into a backpack that has like little sliders that move up and down.
Kind of like you're a puppet.
It's fucking crazy, man.
Yeah. So this kit is priced at $79.99 US, so it'll probably be $100 here.
Yeah.
And while this seems pretty expensive, from what I've heard from people who actually get like craft kits for their kids, like this is actually kind of like normal pricing for a lot of this stuff. But in this case, you're getting a game that you interact with along with it. So that's how they kind of
They're called STEM kits, Ryan, and they're huge in schools in the States.
Yeah, I don't know this because I'm not.
STEM stands for science, technology, education, and mathematics. And the U.S. government 2 or 5 years ago has implemented more STEM products in schooling to get more people into things like science and technology fields where they weren't going because they were going into trades.
Okay.
So this is a way to expand that. So Nintendo's probably trying to get into schools with this project, like they did with Mario typing back in the day.
Mario was missing.
Well, Mario's missing. We deal with STEM products like at my day job, and
that would explain what you know.
So and they're more expensive. Like a lot of our STEM products are a lot more expensive.
Okay.
And they do kind of they're like robots and stuff, but they're in like the $130, $150 price range.
Okay. So this is a pretty good deal then, because I mean you have to have the Switch ahead of time.
Yes.
But like the pricing in a lot of ways works out.
This is weird. It sounds like something that Donald Trump would be mad about. Am I not wrong there?
Well, it's a lot
What
of
do you
the
mean
internet.
educating children? Why don't they educate themselves? School of Hard Knocks.
Well, I mean,
I learned the hard way by getting a free $1 million loan from my dad. Why can't they do that?
Yeah. Like I personally think this is a really awesome idea. But yeah, I see a lot of people on the internet who are pissed off about this. Like, they're like, oh, they're not catering to us. Well, of course not. This isn't for you. That's why we had a mini direct full of games that are for you.
Well, I feel like there are two things that I want to talk about here. Number one, peripherals in general, right? So let's go back to the good old Wii days, right? We all had Wiis, and we all had a fucking bin of those goddamn plastic add-on things, like what do you do with your stupid fucking Mario Kart steering wheel and your tennis racket
And your gun.
and you just have more and more plastic shit that piles up that takes tons of room.
Especially third parties jumped all over that. There were so many of them.
And you had like the fucking bass thing and the fishing reel thing, and there was so much of that shit. It was overwhelming, and you didn't know what to do with it. Like, what do you do with it? Like, where do you put all that shit, right? I mean, especially people like Brock, like you and I and Ryan, like we got like max like 700 square feet to deal with, right? Like, what do you do with all that fucking junk? And then on top of that, then you have things like Rock Band, right? Like that's one of the reasons why Rock Band is such a pain in the ass. Is that you have to, like, Ryan, you got your plastic guitars sitting there. How often do you use those?
I actually use them quite often. That's why they're not around the corner.
He's the one person who does. Like, literally, like, I was helping a friend move, and they were asking, like, oh, well, I got all this Rock Band shit. Should I keep it? And I'm like, when was the last time you played it? And they're like, 4 years ago. And I was like, why? And I was like, because it's a pain in the ass to, like, haul it out of storage, set it up, and then take it apart and put it back away again. Right?
Well, that's why I don't have the drum kit, because, like, the drum kit while awesome, is a pain in the ass to set up or to store. Like
Yeah.
it's not pretty.
You know, and then you look like kind of like a fucking goof if you've got a real guitar and then your Rock Band guitar set up next to it.
Yeah.
And then on top, so like I feel like it kind of solves that problem. But the flip side of that is because I want to say that you'd think that like these cardboard things are like they're more affordable and disposable, right? Like you don't have to worry about it. It's like, well, I'll just throw it away. You know, if it's taking up too much room, and then you don't feel shitty about throwing it away because it's just fucking cardboard, right?
Yeah.
But how much are these kits, Ryan?
So again, the first one, the variety kit we talked about,
Yep.
$79.99 US,
That's a lot of Skrilla, dude.
and then the other one is $69, the robot one.
So now if I get that variety pack, I can build the piano.
Yeah.
And then I have to take it apart.
Nope.
No.
Oh.
It
No,
comes
it's
with
sheets. Each sheet is its own thing.
Yeah, it comes
that's
with enough
good.
cardboard to build everything in here. So 2 RC cars, the fishing rod, the house, the motorbike.
Well, that's just a lot of shit that's going to pile up in my house now.
Yeah.
That's a lot of cardboard going around.
So, like,
Hey.
I would hope that a couple of things happen here. Number one, so if you look at that, like if you say 69 and 79,
69.
Yeah.
and if you look at the, like, if you're saying that the cost of the software is 59,
Right.
I would hope that they see, like, I think that I hope they would have done with this is sold the two things separately, but I know that they're doing that for like quote unquote like
Well,
copy protection reasons. And
it's
shit.
funny you say that because actually I'm fairly certain there will probably be a digital version that's available.
Yeah.
Kind of like what Disney did with Disney Infinity, where you could buy. You didn't have to buy the starter pack. You could buy the software digitally, and then you just buy the starter pack separately.
It would be nice if like buying the cardboard things was easy and cheap.
Right.
Like really easy and really cheap. Like you go to like $5 for a thing at Walmart.
Right.
That's amazing. Because then again, like if you fall out of love with it, you don't feel shitty for throwing it away, and then you don't feel shitty for going out and buying another one. I guess the other thing too is it would be easy for people to make the plans available on the internet, so you could just build your own.
Right.
Right. It just require you to have a little bit more ingenuity. So like at a certain point, if someone just did high res scans of this, you could just basically print it out and glue it on a new piece of cardboard and build it again. You know.
Well, and Nintendo France, when this announcement was made, it stated that there would be that you wouldn't even need to buy buy replacements because the stencils would be free online and you'd be able to create your own. But that's been debunked. So that's actually not going to be a thing.
Well, I could
But
see-
obviously, someone's going to be re-uploading. Like if this breaks, you basically have to pay you have to pay Nintendo for replacement parts.
I could see Nintendo France specifically saying that, or somewhere in France, because they have very strict waste control laws there.
Yeah.
Like they're trying to make shit like more recycle friendly. Like they're the ones who have like the no like food waste laws and stuff like that. So I could see them, and like in the EU they have shit like they have very strict controls over like planned obsolescence with like phone cords and stuff. Where like if you're gonna switch a phone cord, you can't do it every like a charging cord. You can't do it like every 2 years to keep people having to buy new cords and new plugs and shit.
That's always the worst.
Yeah. So like governments have stepped in and regulated some of that stuff to again reduce waste. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's something, because like fuck, there's got to be like enough of those goddamn plastic things between Rock Band and the Wii shit to like fill like at least like 4 landfills across the planet. You know, like every person I know who had a kid or just not even a kid who had a Wii just had those things just sitting around like, oh yeah, the thing is broken, or I never use it anymore, or
I finally threw mine out when I moved.
yeah.
Like,
That's
had to get rid of
ultimately
that
that's it.
shit.
It's like-
I was like, I'm not going to use these stupid wheels.
yeah. So like
Did you ever use them in the first place, though?
No, I didn't like them at all. I found them really distracting.
Yeah.
I feel like that's always been a big quote unquote problem with plastic peripherals. So I'm hoping that this fixes that a little bit.
Yeah.
Or that they're moving towards that. It feels like it is.
Yeah. I mean, I think that in a lot of ways, this sort of changes the future of peripherals, like
Yeah.
gaming peripherals, because I don't think you're going to see, other than from third parties, you're probably not going to see too many plastic peripherals anymore, unless there's like, unless it's like a light gun or something like that, where you kind of have to do it that way, because otherwise it doesn't work. But like for other Nintendo Switch peripherals, I could see a lot of other companies taking ideas from this and then making, really running with it, making other cardboard peripherals.
Yeah.
And the Nintendo, it sounds like this isn't the only thing. This is just the first step of Labo, where there's
Yeah.
going to be like Labo add-ons or.
Why do you
new
think they
Labo
partner with
software.
that cereal now? They're going to put out a Labo cereal box.
There
Well,
you
it's
go.
like, we were talking about this, like
If
the
only.
potential for like. I mean, I am sure that like there are a bunch of companies whose dicks are very hard for this right now. Like, is one of the things we talked about was Loot Crate. Like, Loot Crate could do a thing where the inside of the box folds out to be like, so you could have like a Loot Crate box that's all Nintendo themed, then folds out to turn into some Labo thing, and then have like a download code for like a little like mini game that uses it in some way. You know, like I feel like there's a lot of opportunity here. You know, or like
Pizza Hut.
yeah.
Arby's could get in on that. They're always posting cardboard creations.
Arby's posted the thing, right? Which was pretty hilarious.
If anything, they copied Arby's in this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there have been some great Labo spoofs out there already, like the Labo sex doll. I showed you guys that. That was pretty funny. Somebody was like, there's like a Labo add-on for the potential like PUBG like port, and it was like basically the controller with like a little cardboard knife on the end of it. That was pretty dope.
Yeah.
A knife thing would be awesome.
Yeah.
Playing Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Or just to get to have like Nintendo Shank Simulator where like, you know, like protect yourself in the shower in prison, you know, you gotta have your shank handy.
Yeah.
Protect your princess
Yeah.
from creepy Bowser.
That's right.
Stab him with a knife.
That's right, yeah.
Jesus.
It's my
It's
wedding
going dark
now.
with this.
Yeah. And then you stab princess.
Oh shit.
Oh.
But why?
Just to show you're in charge.
That's fair.
Yeah. So Labo, I mean, I sort of talked about how I really thought it's a really good idea, especially like if I was a kid, I still would really I would love something like this. But what do you guys think? Like, are you guys at all excited about Labo, or is it just we're not just the audience for that?
I'm pretty excited for it.
I actually think it's really-
I like dumb shit like that. It's gonna be great.
I think it's really cool. You know what this reminds me of?
What?
Mindstorms. Lego Mindstorms.
Oh man,
Is it
it's
plural?
Mindstorms.
Mindstorm?
I think it's Mindstorms.
Plural. Yeah, anyway, regardless, the Lego kit where you build fucking robots. I was like, this is what it reminds me of, and if they just keep doing more stuff, I can imagine scenarios where, because it's cardboard, like if you build like the robot kit and you're like, I want to trick this out more, and like you put some fucking like badass like fins on it and shit like that.
And they showed some of that in the video where you
Yeah.
can totally customize all
Yeah,
that stuff
yeah,
because it's cardboard.
Yeah, color it with marker or spray paint it or do whatever the fuck you want with it. I think that's really neat. And, you know, the fact that there's an opportunity for expression and stuff like that, I think that's cool. And the potential, like I said, for like people to do like crazy stuff with this is really, really neat.
Yeah.
You know, you know, like Amazon could get in on this. So like when you get your pre-ordered games, they throw in a code and the box folds out into something, or you know, or just like a game itself comes in a cardboard box. You know, let's be real. The cases that come with the current Switch cartridges are like a giant, massive waste of space because they're so fucking big.
Yeah.
And Yoshi's game's got to have a tie-in because that whole world is set in a cardboard world.
Yeah.
Which
And we haven't heard a lot about it
No.
since its original announcement. So it might have something. There might be a Labo mode or something where like you can, I don't know, do something.
build a cardboard Yoshi to ride.
Yeah,
exactly.
Because I would be down for
Or you
that.
can use the piano accessory to make your own music in Yoshi.
I mean, ultimately, this is very smart too because cardboard's really easy to ship. It's light. It packs down flat.
Not gonna break.
This is the IKEA of video game peripherals, right? Let's be real. It'll be really interesting to see how durable these things are, how easy they are to put together. Like, are there going to be a lot of frustrated kids and parents going like, I was trying to build this, but like, you know, this tab comes off really easily,
Or like the string breaks or something. Like
yeah,
it's
or
easy to tear.
yeah, or like it's really easy to like make a bad rip here or tear here or something, and like. Are parents going to basically have to build these things for their kids, or are kids going to be able to do it themselves?
Yeah.
And to be fair, I mean, it sounds like they're doing the STEM thing. Then hopefully they've done their homework on this. I mean, I'm sure they've thoroughly tested it. So.
And there are a couple events coming up for Labo. First of all, there was an event in New York City before this announcement that was embargoed until then, because I know Steve Tilley went and then wrote all about that. But then there's an event in New York coming up for people to try this, and then an event in San Francisco as well. I'm hoping there is an event here, but we'll see. But
Nintendo of Canada, what up? Come on, let's do something.
I'm interested to see like when people go to these events, like they'll have a feel like probably as soon as they put some of this stuff on, they'll probably be able to feel like how durable it is. So hopefully we'll get some of those questions answered when that happens. So before we move on to the next topic, I wanted to talk real quick about peripherals. Do you guys have, first of all, obviously it sounds like we were not huge fans of peripherals, but do you have a favorite peripheral at all? Starting with Drew, I guess.
Favorite peripheral? I'm going to go with the Wii lightsaber. No.
The one that doesn't exist because it was Kinect instead.
Was that what it ended up being? There was like a thing. I feel like there was a thing.
There was going to be there was clamoring for a Wii lightsaber game forever. It never happened because Kinect Star Wars happened instead.
Link's crossbow training. No, that thing fucking sucked.
We talked about the Sega Activator.
Yeah.
It's the killer app for it was Killer Eternal Champions.
Eternal Champions, yeah. Honestly, I mean, we joke about this. I mean, it has to be the Zapper. It has to be the classic NES Zapper. I mean, that's the one. That or Rob. I feel like there's like Rob. That was the robot that came with the original NES that was launched here in North America.
Yeah. They had to launch it with it because they couldn't really sell it as a video game console. They had to sell it as an entertainment system for Rob.
Yeah. So Rob was this, and you played Gyromite with it, and he was this weird robot. And there was just all this weird mystery associated with it. And that package didn't last very long. I think that initial pack in with Rob was only like maybe
because eventually they moved to the Power Pack, which is the one that came with
the Zapper,
with Mario and Duck Hunt,
and that was
the one I had.
That was the one I had, of course, too. The orange and gray Zapper. I feel those two things are really iconic. Rob, in the sense that like nobody fucking had it. I knew one kid who had it, and it was like, what does this thing even do? And they'd all go, fuck it, like. But it was just looked neat because it was a robot. Yeah. And then the Zapper, because the Zapper was easy to use. It was the game it came with was really fun. Everybody used it, right? Like
because it came with every NES at that point,
and it just looked cool sitting around. It
made this cool noise, like it's very distinctive.
The clicking, the clunk sound that it makes is pretty awesome. But Ryan, we were talking about something before the podcast.
Yeah.
There's the Super Nintendo version of the Zapper.
The Super Scope 6?
Yeah.
It's real bad, but it exists.
It's real bad in so much as that
it was a bazooka.
It's a light gun bazooka. It's way too big. It's way bigger than it needed to be.
It was cool because it was wireless. Like, it was one of the first, like, wireless peripherals I'd ever seen. But it took, the downsides, it took 6 C batteries.
Yes.
in order to power it for an hour.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, like...
And it was like when you look back on it, it came with a motion sensor like the Wii light bar. So you actually stuck it under your TV, and that's how it detected where you were shooting. So it was kind of cool because there was, like I said, there was nothing else like that. And it was sort of like the prelude to the Wiimote, essentially. That's kind of interesting to look back. See, with the Power Glove was the same way, where you had like a huge sensor bar all over your TV.
Yeah, the Power Glove is the best peripheral. I don't know. I was disputing that.
It doesn't even work.
The Power Glove was fucking garbage.
That's not true, because didn't you see that scene from The Wizard where that kid plays Rad Racer with it?
That was the great lie that was the Power Glove. Number one, the Power Glove was not a Nintendo peripheral. It was built by another company.
Yeah, it was a Mattel product.
It was Mattel? Yeah.
Because Mattel also made Rob.
I had a Power Glove for about 3 days when I was a kid. And the only thing I wanted to use the Power Glove for was to just wear it and look cool.
Yeah. And punch people.
Yeah. but not actually play video games with it, because playing video games with it was garbage. Mm-hmm. Like, it sucked. It was like, it used like an infrared thing, and like basically it was like very early motion controls, right?
Yeah.
But like stuff like Punch Out didn't work very well. That was the one thing you wanted to use it for, and it never worked very well.
Yeah.
And then like any other game, there was like the dude was playing like a fucking driving game with it in
Rad Racer.
Rad Racer.
Yeah, because that was made by Square Enix.
Yes.
Of all companies.
It looked like Outrun.
Yeah, because again, it was from The Wizard.
Yes. So it was kind of like, it was always sort of inaccurate, and you had to punch in a code for every single game, and that was always, while the code thing looked cool, it was always a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
I agree that it is the coolest looking peripheral.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like, I just want to wear one, like, walking down the street.
You just feel so much power wearing it.
Yeah, so people know how cool I am.
Yeah.
And also that kid from fucking The Wizard, like, how horny he gets for the fucking Power Glove.
I love the Power Glove. It's so bad.
It's so bad. It's the only thing I jerk off with.
I mean, he's not wrong. I mean, it's shitty. It sucks. He's calling it bad.
Yeah.
He's just calling it how it is.
Yeah. Let's be real. Like, he totally straps that things on and like fingers his butthole with
If you've never seen
All right.
if you've ever seen The Wizard, go watch The Wizard.
It is a classic.
It is a classic.
But so cool thing about the Super Scope 6 I want to talk about, though, is I got to try that long before it came out, back when we had a really cool thing here at Ontario Place in Toronto.
Yeah.
The formerly publicly owned fucking amusement park on the lake. Yeah, that was a thing.
Yeah.
There was a thing called the Nintendo Power Pod.
Yeah.
Where you could go, I think I've talked about this before, where you could go play games before they came out, basically. So I played the Japanese version of Super Mario 64 there, and I played a bunch of things. I played like an early version of Pilot Wings and Star Fox and stuff like that, like all at different times. And I remember they had the Super Scope 6 before it came out. The thing that I always thought was really funny about the Super Scope 6 was, and it's really hard to say because there are too many S's in it.
Yeah.
Is it came out, and then like 6 months later, Sega released a new light gun peripheral called the Menacer, which looked almost exactly like it and had the same fucking color scheme, which was terribly ironic because
It didn't have purple on it though.
It didn't have purple, but it had the gray, the orange tip, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because Sega's color scheme at the time was all like dark gray black.
Yeah.
Right.
It looked very much like the PlayStation 3 gun. I don't remember what it was called. The one that used PlayStation Move. It was like the one that came with Killzone. I don't remember what one it was called. But anyways, that gun and the Menacer looked very similar. They were like the same gun. It was really weird.
Yeah. So it was one of those like, wow, Sega, like you're not even trying anymore.
That's because Sega does what Nintendo don't.
Or in this case,
exactly the same.
Yeah, Sega does what Nintendo do.
Yeah. Brock, so you mentioned the Power Glove. Are there any other peripherals you really like?
Other than the
Or
Zapper, no, I never really got into them.
Yeah.
I really didn't like I never really liked the Wii's motion controls. I don't really like motion controls, so none of them ever really worked for me.
Fair enough.
One bit.
I have 3 shoutouts.
Yeah.
Number 1, the Zapper, which we talked about.
Of course.
Number 2, the DDR dance mat.
Yes.
Because you could finally play DDR at home, and it worked surprisingly well.
And it has new life as like a really hard way to play video games.
Exactly.
Like,
Dark
I
Souls
always
on
love
the
that.
dance pad.
So and so played really hard game and beat it with DDR dance pad, like fucking Dark Souls
Yep.
and shit like that.
Yeah.
That is a really good one, Ryan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the other one I have to give a shout out to is the Ion drum kit from Rock Band, or even the Rock Band keytar.
Yes.
Because both of which were actual instruments that just happened to play with Rock Band, because you could plug the keyboard into a MIDI controller into your computer and then actually play piano. Like I did that for a while. And likewise, the Ion drum kit was an actual electronic drum kit that happened to play with Rock Band. Like those peripherals were amazing for someone like me who plays musical instruments. Like it was really cool to have an electronic solution for those that also interacted with Rock Band, especially as a big Rock Band fan.
I take it back. I really like the Donkey Kong drums.
Those are great.
Donkey Konga?
Yeah.
What's that movie called?
Donkey Konga.
Yeah.
There was also DK's Jungle Beat,
Yep.
which is the Donkey Kong platformer that you play with the conga drums.
What's the Namco game with the
Tomba Tomba?
Tomba Tomba? The
Tomba Master. That's what it's called. Taiko Tomba Master.
The Taiko drumming
I
thing.
played that in Japan. It's so awesome, and I
Yeah.
can't wait for the Switch version to come.
Yeah.
Because it's not coming out here, but there's like actual Tomba Joy-Cons that you can get that
Nice.
are like colored with the same scheme.
That's awesome.
Along with the game, so I'm thinking about importing those.
Did either of you have Wii Fit? Because that was the worst.
No.
The balance board.
Yeah.
I know. Like, I'm gonna try to be really polite here. Every woman I know who had a Wii Fit balance
Yeah.
board. Yeah.
It's true. That's
Yeah.
the only reason I ever used it was an ex-girlfriend of mine had one,
Yeah.
and she'd always be working out on it. And I was like, "Is this really doing anything?"
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, like you could just stand on a piece of wood.
Yeah, you don't really need the
And
balance board.
Just lean back and forth and shit.
Yeah.
You know. I'm just saying.
It was something. One other thing as well I want to mention that I had completely forgot about until now. The Super Game Boy for the SNES or the Game Boy Advance adapter for the GameCube were really awesome as well.
Those were neat, yeah.
You could play Game Boy games and Game Boy Advance games on your TV.
Yeah.
Which is really sweet because you can play Pokemon at home.
Yeah.
What about the camera? The Game Boy camera.
But with the Game Boy printer.
Game Boy printer. Game Boy
Yeah.
printer. That's how we
Yeah.
did.
Or-
Actually, my favorite peripheral as a kid was just that light that you just stuck in, and you could play Game Boy at night. That was revolutionary to
Oh, the
me.
little flip
Yeah, that was all I needed.
Magnifier in the
Or
light.
when it was like super sunny.
Yeah.
Because like there was no backlight on that.
Yeah, there was the magnifying the thing too. That was
Yeah.
great.
It was something that had like a flip down magnifying
Yeah.
glass and then had like
Yeah, because I had one that was like it flipped open and closed, and on the sides it had speakers, and I had a magnifying glass with a light attached. to it.
Yeah.
remember that. Yeah.
Or even on the Game Boy Advance, like they had some things like that for like the original model of the Game Boy Advance because it also didn't have a backlight.
Yeah,
For some
you had
dumbass
like
reason.
you had the little like cord light. It just kind of
They didn't have a backlight on until the SP came out. Which was really weird.
like a goosenecky thing.
yeah, like you get from IKEA for $10.
Yeah, I remember buying the Afterburner kit for my Game Boy Advance and installing it,
Yeah.
which was a thing that added an LED backlight, which was dope.
Yeah.
Because I really love the form factor of the original Game Boy Advance. I know not a lot of people do, but yeah, I had the Arctic White one, and I just
Nice.
I like the form factor of the original, but yeah, the problem with not having a backlight is sort of it just kills that system, unfortunately. Especially for games like Castlevania, like the launch Castlevania game, like was like unplayable because it was too dark.
It was too dark. Yeah, I remember that was why I bought the thing was for was it Harmony of Dissonance?
Yeah,
I think
that's what it is.
Yeah. Geez, I mean, the reality is, and we've joked here, but like, there's probably a lot more bad peripherals than there ever were good ones.
Yeah,
right.
Like PlayStation Move,
like PlayStation Move, like the Kinect.
Didn't, wasn't there
Generation 1 and 2.
Wasn't there like a bow and arrow for a Zelda game?
Yes,
It was really dumb.
Link's crossbow training.
Yeah.
Well, Link's crossbow training actually used the gun. It didn't have a crossbow.
I thought it had its own crossbow.
No,
It came packed in
with the gun.
Yeah. But I think that was the first way Nintendo sold it officially, or did they sell before that?
I think there might have been a third-party bow and arrow.
Yeah.
But the Nintendo one was always the Wii Zapper.
Yeah, which is like the two-handed thing where like
Yeah.
the nunchuck went on the back and the
Again, it was
went on the
exactly
front.
like the PlayStation one.
Yeah.
The PlayStation Zapper, whatever it was called. Which I still can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, but like I mean, traditionally you got things like the activator, which was fucking horrible. What the activator was an octagon that you stood in the middle of.
Yeah.
And they sort of like they advertised it as like a motion detecting thing, but all it did was it had like infrared beams that went up all around it, and each beam represented a button press.
Yeah.
So like you basically just stuck out your arm or your leg.
Yeah.
You didn't have to do a kick or do a punch. You just literally had to break the beam.
But all the advertising pictures show the kids kicking the other kids in Mortal Kombat.
Of course,
That's
which
not how it works.
didn't work. The other one was the remember the trackpad thing? Do you guys remember that?
The NES trackpad
The NES
for track and field?
For track and field, yeah.
Yeah.
It was kind of like the dance pad where it just like it literally had just like
Except it hardly worked.
buttons that you stepped on, but the buttons sucked. Like there's so many bad ones.
Also, best peripheral. I have to throw it out there, Sega CD. Best peripheral ever.
Well, I mean, yeah, if we're talking about
It's the best.
I do like Sega CD.
But the worst peripheral, 32X.
32X is garbage. But in terms of like other ways that you control or interact with games, I mean, going all the way back to like for Pong, like for the Atari, you had like the different controllers. You had like the classic stick one, but you also had the one that had the paddle.
Yeah. Just like the arcade machines all had paddle
Yeah.
controllers.
Yes. Yeah. Because that was back when like that was we were still trying to figure out what we were doing with video games, or like trackballs.
Yeah.
Trackballs suck. But how else are you gonna play Golden Tee?
What about the Wii health sensor? What the thing that never came out?
Oh yeah, the other thing was like
you
detect
stuck your
heartbeat.
finger in it and it detected your health.
Yeah, your heartbeat. And shit
I'm
like
looking up things for like Wii peripherals, and there was a Wii car adapter.
Nice.
That would be absolutely useless.
that. Yeah.
Like
Because you gotta
completely
do your
useless.
motion controls. I don't know, maybe for kids in the back seat.
Resident Evil
forgot-
4 chainsaw controller.
I forgot about that. It was the GameCube controller, except all the buttons were really dumbly proportioned because it was a chainsaw.
There's some bad shit.
That's
here,
some
man.
bad shit.
Yeah.
There's the activator.
Activator.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Which is like it's horrible. I think ultimately the best peripherals that ever existed are the ones that have like a multi-use to them.
Yeah.
Right?
Like I talked about with like the Rock Band drum kit, for example, like
Yeah.
the Ion one, where it's used in the game, but also for other things as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Or in this case with Labo, it's cardboard, so you can make boxes out of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Konami laser scope. I don't remember that one. That looks awesome though. Looks very future techy.
It was a headset thing, and you said fire for it to shoot.
Oh.
and it sucked.
forgot about
As this is the thing, like everything that they always have big promises and they never really deliver.
Kind of like the gun from Captain Power.
Kind of like the gun from Captain Power.
Captain Power, of course, most people don't know, was a TV show. And you had there was a Wii Zapper kind of thing that you could get for that interacted with the TV show. that you watched.
How did that work?
Well, so what it was it was the spaceships. You had the spaceships, and
That's what it was.
The whole idea with the thing was that you had like the good or the bad spaceship or whatever, and then you had like home video things.
Yeah.
And as like it would go through a thing, and basically there'd be like a little like flashy thing on the screen and there'd be like a little infrared detector thing on the spaceship.
Yeah.
And it would detect whether or not I don't know if you pulled the trigger I think you had to just pull the trigger in time with when the thing appeared on the screen, and if you didn't, after X number of times, a little like battery thing would trigger Captain Power ejecting from the seat, and that was how you lost the game.
It was so weird.
This sounds horrible.
It was actually more fun because they did a really good job of like tricking kids into thinking that it was more interactive than it really was.
Yeah, because it didn't really work. But
Yeah.
the TV show, classic.
Yeah, TV show good. Written by J. Michael Straczynski, who wrote like Babylon 5 and a bunch of other shit.
Yeah.
And was shot here in Toronto.
Nice.
Yeah, it was Toronto.
So
show.
bringing it all back. Of course, we've talked about this for quite a while, so we should probably move on. But needless to say, we're excited for Nintendo Labo at least.
Yeah.
It comes out on 4/20, and we still don't know how much it costs. But,
Brock and I are going to make a cardboard bong and smoke one out.
Yeah, we are.
And by smoke one out, I mean our apartment, because it's going to catch fire, and then we're going to have to call the fire department.
Yeah. And I want to see some hot firefighters.
Yeah, please, friends at home, please don't do that.
Please don't burn down your home with Nintendo Labo.
Don't make a cardboard bong. Don't be dumb like
when
us.
we get news about pricing, we'll certainly talk about it on the show.
Yeah, as soon as we can. Like I said, I literally, because
we
it's not often that I do this, but I reached out to our, because she usually tells us right away.
Yeah.
This is what the Canadian pricing.
They must just really not know.
But like on physical shit, it's tricky because they've got to figure out like import stuff and
I think that's probably
shipping costs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The fact that they haven't figured that stuff out yet makes me nervous. That because I remember what happened with Rock Band in Canada the first time.
Yeah. How it didn't come out here first.
Basically, they diverted all the shipments to the U.S. because they just didn't have enough.
Yeah.
So I really hope that that's not what happens.
I just want to know what the replayability is going to be on these games.
Yeah.
How advanced are they really going to be?
Because it really just sounds like minigame collection.
Yeah, it feels like Wii Sports ish kind of shit, right?
Exactly.
So, that fucking robot game looks cool though.
It does.
Yeah. I don't know how many times I'm gonna want to strap on that really stupid looking suit.
But think about how cool you would be being an actual robot.
Well, also as an adult and be a big fat adult, I don't know like how much any of this shit's gonna fit me.
You're just gonna need some extra string.
Like modification.
That's why you're gonna. The fishing rod's definitely for you.
Yeah, the fishing rod is definitely for me
Because if you strap it to your body.
Yeah, yeah. I don't have to strap it to my body, and two, it just means I just get to sit around and fish.
Yeah.
Fishing
calming.
is the only sport I want to do.
You know what I really fucking hate in video games? Fishing.
Yeah.
Can't stand it. Don't like fishing in Stardew. Don't like fishing in Final Fantasy. Don't like fishing in Animal Crossing.
We're gonna talk about fishing.
I don't like fishing games.
Fishing in Stardew was a real fucking chore.
It was a real chore. It's not fun.
Yeah.
All right. So let's move on to a different topic. So, topic 2 this week. So there were lots of rumors this week about Playground Games from Eurogamer being tied to the Fable license and how it sounds like Brock's prediction about Fable from Playground is actually going to be a thing.
I cracked my leg. It was really weird. I've never heard it do that before.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that why you're touching your dick?
That's touching my dick. I wanted to make sure it didn't crack my boner.
Guys, you really need to watch the video version of this podcast.
You'll wonder why it sort of ground to a halt.
Yeah.
Anyways, Fable. Sounds like it's going to be a thing. Whether or not Playground is the developer that does it, there's enough people out there who are saying Fable is actually being developed for us to believe that it's actually coming back. So I'll pose the question to the panel here. Drew, as a person who historically doesn't like Fable, and Brock, who's someone who really likes Fable, what do we want to see from both sides of the table? What do we want to see in a new Fable game? Like, for example, Drew, what would win you over?
Well, let's put Brock. Brock, what?
This is easy. All I want is a Fable game that Peter Molyneux first described, that you can grow up, you can plant a seed, you come back 20 years, it's now grown into a tree. You get a scar on your face, it becomes like permanent on your body. Like just a real like interactive adventure game where time passes and like things change.
Counterpoint. Fable is fucking garbage.
Get rid of all the bad humor though. Like keep it like British humor, but like change it up a bit and make it a little less kiddie, like less fart jokes.
There was that was always a thing that like pissed me off about Lionhead games. Even like so the first big Lionhead game I played was Black and White, which was when I was like in my early 20s, where you think like dick and fart jokes would be and it's not even dick jokes, it's just poop and fart jokes all the fucking time. Just like knock it off.
And Black and White could have been so good.
Yeah.
Also a disappointment.
But instead it was just a giant orangutan throwing shit at tiny people all the time. And you're just like,
this isn't what I thought it was going to be at all. Like I thought it was going to be these epic worlds and like there'd be serious adventures, and
it's just a monkey throwing poop all the fucking time, or your dog throwing poop. You know, so they always had that tradition of like just weird, and like the whole thing, like everyone just you're walking through town and all of a sudden you just hear you're like, fuck off.
Yeah.
Like for real, like I get that like the real world is a little dirty and grimy, and I get the appeal of that, but what they just ended up doing is making it feel like fucking stupid and cartoony and kind of childish,
Like too
bad.
cartoony. That's the problem.
Like,
but I love when you like walk past a bar and someone's like puking. That's cool. Like that's interactive. That would happen. But like to come out like just fart. It's like no.
Like the fact that like again like it's not gritty and real. It seems cartoony and stupid. It's just like you're walking through town or whatever. He just goes right,
which is weird because it was a mature title.
Yeah. So like what I always thought Fable was, and this is to answer your question, right? This is what would win me over, is the whole notion of it's like what Brock was talking about, that it follows a character as they evolve and the choices you make affect what your character is like and what the world is like and what you look like and so on. But also that it has this neat fairy tale setting that's also has like this dark slant of reality to it. Like the notion of like you go into like the beautiful picturesque town and then you look down an alleyway and there's like some guy just puking his guts out, right?
And the prostitutes hiding in the shadows.
Yeah, exactly. And that kind of shit. Like that's totally cool. Like, you know, like, oh, like come down Gingerbread Lane with me, and then you turn around and like you look down Gingerbread Lane and there's like someone like, you know, some dude blowing another dude in the street or something, you know, like oh, right? Or like, you know, like you see goblins and then they're like horribly mutilating someone or something like that. You know, like it's
Come on,
like,
this is a family game, Drew.
no,
It's not a family game. It is an adult game.
That's the whole point.
Have you ever played Fable before?
But it could be.
But that's the thing. Like, it touted itself as a mature game, but it had overall a lack of maturity in terms of like its storytelling and stuff like that. Like it felt like it could have been there. Like it was like halfway there.
I love the morality like system. Like you could be really good, you could be really bad, and people would treat you differently.
Yeah.
And I really want to see that explored more. Like, let me get married, have a kid, maybe kill my kid, and see how people treat me then.
But
or
you
like
can't kill kids
people
in Fable.
treat your kids.
But you
like,
should be able to kill everybody.
People treat your kid like shit because you're a jerk.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Or the other way around. Like villains go after your kid because you know you're a
You're the good
do-gooder. You know. That kind of shit.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff. Those are some really cool ideas. Like, again, I just want to really see like an open world RPG from Microsoft, like kind of like Horizon.
Yeah.
almost like the next Fable game from them could be their Horizon essentially. A big open world title like Fallout or something like that. But yeah, like honestly, when I look at Fable after playing the other Fable games, like I don't see Fable as an adult game. I feel like the Fable franchise has always sort of been like a teen or young adult franchise almost. And I mean, seeing a more mature Fable would be really cool, but I almost feel like it might feel out of place in comparison to other Fable games. But it sort of depends on what direction and
I think
what
this is going to be
audience
a
they're trying to get.
huge reboot, though. Like, we're not going Fable 4.
Yeah,
Like,
I
I think
don't
it's just
think
going to
so.
be Fable.
I think
And,
so.
like,
Yeah.
literally just keep the kind of towns the same and then get rid of everything. I'll just
Again,
gut it.
just do that dark fairy tale thing.
Yeah.
Right. Just keep that kind of like that, like, you know, that sort of like that style, that like you know like Tudor style houses.
Kind
and,
of like Fables, except not in the modern era.
I think the third one left such a bad taste in people's mouth. It was just awful, too.
Like,
so, like,
but
you don't
also,
want
like,
anything associated with that.
keep muskets and gunpowder and shit out of it.
Yeah.
Like you don't need that stuff.
Yeah, I liked it before.
yeah, kind of like Fable 1 where it didn't have any of
Yeah,
that.
Yeah.
before the industrial, like, revolution parts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just have like you know like bows and arrows and like you know heroes. Like one of the great twists of the original Fable game, and is spoiler for Fable 1, is that the guy who runs the hero guild turns out to be the bad guy.
Right.
And like there's even like interesting notions of that, is like exploring the idea of, you know, and kind of Batman touches on this, the whole idea of like if you have someone who reacts in an extreme way to things, don't they just create more extreme situations? The whole thing is like Batman creates the villains, right?
The way you're rubbing your mustache while you're talking about Batman makes me think you might actually be Batman.
Really?
Yeah.
I might be. If I had money, I'd be Batman.
Yeah.
I'd probably be more, let's be real, I'd probably be more Tony Stark like. But yeah.
Fair enough.
Regardless. Also, Fable's going to be able to be playable on Game Pass February 1st.
Yep, it's
Oh,
coming.
that's fun.
Yeah, Fable
Finally.
anniversary.
Yeah.
Which I will definitely be playing.
Yeah.
So I mean, as much as I have this like love-hate relationship with Fable, like Fable 1 I played the PC version of, which was like the one like plus the lost chapters.
Yeah.
Which like people got frustrated with that because the game ends abruptly,
Yeah.
right, and doesn't wrap up a bunch of stuff. Like, you know, I call Peter Molyneux Mr. Broken Promises. Like they've done nothing but make games that don't live up to their promises and their potential. And then even when you play them in that sort of vacuum of this could be a much better game if they just did a few more things, right? So it's great to see someone else take on those things.
That's exactly how I feel about it. Whereas like with someone else behind the helm, not Lionhead, a different developer, I feel like they could really like put their own spin on Fable and make it much more enjoyable for everyone.
So for that reason, I'm excited. So like I said, Fable 1, I liked, but like again, like played it and was one of those games that kind of like Destiny, where you play and you're like, this could be like so much better if they just did a few more things. And then same thing with 2, and you know, shit like Chicken Chaser and the fart jokes and stuff always just rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah.
So
kind of like how I felt when I played No Man's Sky for the first time, where I was like, man, this could be really cool, but this is the game we got instead.
Still haven't played No Man's Sky.
I heard it's much better now.
Yeah,
like
I heard
they've
that
made
too.
a ton of improvements over the last year.
Has it ever been on sale?
It has been on sale. It was like $10 on PSN at one point.
Next time that happens, let me know and I'll buy it.
Did we ever get the singing sword from Fable? I don't think it was ever revealed.
I don't think so. There's a bunch of weird dead ends in that game.
Yeah.
And like unused areas.
The dragon never showed up.
Well, that's
The
'cause
dragon does.
Or in the Lost Chapters,
In the
right?
Lost Chapters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it turns out that the Jack of Blades he's really like an ancient dragon. That's the whole
Right.
thing.
Yeah, and it's really and that's part of the problem with the original Fable series too, is that they jump so far into the future every time.
Yeah.
That's why they have so many loose ends, because they don't stick around in the same era even to tie all this stuff together.
Well, there was that whole like, it was a really interesting thing that like the story of the game was like the you were basically going around killing off the competition for the dragon essentially, so that he could take over, and that was sort of the twist that was revealed, and then you like defeat the dragon and away you go. They don't follow up on that though. By the time you get to Fable 2, they've just gone in a completely different direction.
it's gone so far into the future and they never touch on it again.
Yeah, you never hear about Jack of Blades, you never hear about the dragon. And it's not even like they talk about one of the cool things they could do is like bring save data over like they did Mass Effect into Fable 2 and like talk about your character and the things you did and sort of like legendary deeds.
Well, they talk about it a little bit near the end of the game.
Yeah. But again, it's just bolted on shit. It's
Well,
not like
exactly.
It's not like you go through the thing and like there's like a storybook that's like, here's like this adventure that you did.
It's kind of like KOTOR or KOTOR to KOTOR 2, where basically you fill in the blanks of what your Darth Revan was from the first game.
But I mean, even in KOTOR 1 and KOTOR 2, like they're smarter about it.
Yeah.
There's
Well,
more opportunity.
duh.
It just like Fable 2 just feels like they were making Fable 2, and then Peter Molyneux wanted to make the dog love simulator, and then forgot about the rest of it. It was like, and you'll have to kill your dog too.
It was the hit prequel to Jerry Rice's Dog Football we always wanted.
Like the end of Fable 2 is awful.
Yeah.
Like the last fight is one of the worst things ever. Not because it's like your dog dies, because that's really dumb, because the first thing that happens in the first DLC pack is literally you flip a switch and they're fine again.
Well, it completely invalidates the final choice.
Yes.
In that game. Spoilers for Fable 2.
But then there's like a boss fight, but the boss fight is basically you just kill the guy and he dies. Like you just he doesn't even, I don't even think he fights back.
No.
You just basically shoot him in the head and he falls down.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's just a bad game. It's such a 2 was so disappointing in like the most fundamental ways.
Yeah. I thought the gameplay really hooked me in that game.
The gameplay is great.
But that's one of the things that I really hope they work on too, the combat. Like, if they could just take the Kingdoms of Amalur combat and move it to this game, like that would be amazing. Because the combat in that game, it's awesome. So let's move on, because we're running short on time. Let's talk about what we played this week. So we'll start with Brock, because I know Drew's got some stuff to say. So we're gonna go to Brock first.
I started The Vanishing of Ethan Carter.
Yeah.
That game is absolutely
it just came to
gorgeous.
Xbox, right?
It just came out yesterday, yeah.
Yeah, I saw that pop up.
It is gorgeous on the Xbox One.
Yeah.
Like, gorgeous. I played a little bit of Beholder, so I'm going to get back into that. That's on the Xbox now, too. I didn't really play much this week. I was busy installing a bidet into my bathroom.
Excellent.
Which is a real game changer.
Yeah.
Drew's just giving me the weirdest look.
Really?
Yeah, it's great.
Is it one of like the add-on ones?
Yeah. It's a game changer.
Yeah.
And I've been watching a show called Altered Carbon, and I'll have a review of that on Monday.
Altered Carbon?
Altered Carbon,
What is
the new Netflix show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now,
That's right. You're doing this more and more. You're watching Netflix shows.
I'm watching a lot of Netflix shows.
So
yeah.
And Brock, where can people see that review?
Oh, they'll be on brockstargaming.com.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Monday morning.
Monday morning.
I think
Very
Monday, Tuesday, somewhere around there.
Very cool.
I don't know.
Cool.
Yeah, but no, not really much games.
All right, Drew, you have something to say. You have the floor.
Okay. Shit's gonna get weird. Strap in. I finally been trying to finish my Office for a while, getting close, and at a certain point I just realized, you know what, it's just time to hook up my Xbox One X to my big TV. Just do it, because my PlayStation 4, like, I'm not really playing anything on it right now, but there's a bunch of games on the X that I need to finish playing, and I'm close to finishing my Xbox One X review, which is almost done. Spent almost 70 days with that thing, and
for us, we wanted to make sure like we actually had like the full play test with it, like had it in our home for a long time before doing the review.
Yeah, I mean, like,
rather than rushing one out the door.
It's weird to review console hardware, right? Like, it's not a thing, and it's not so much a review as it is talking about like what is the experience of this thing, and because it exists in like a new weird space, right? Like it's like between that and the PS4 Pro. But I mean, this is even a bigger step than the PS4 Pro, right? It's the full fat 4K experience, and what is that like, and what does that mean, and is it right for you? Because for some people, it is totally the thing that you're going to want to go out and buy tomorrow. For some people, it's not necessarily. Like if you've got an S, and you're not in the neighborhood to buy a new console, I don't think, especially, and you don't have a 4K TV, I don't think it's really something you should be chomping at the bit to get.
Right.
If you don't have a modern console right now, I kind of feel like it's the thing to get.
Right. Because it still has improved frame rates and a bunch of other nice.
It's got a bunch of great shit. But like, so let's talk about some of the things I played it. So I really took a big bite out of Assassin's Creed Origins.
Nice.
That game is gorgeous. I don't like it. I really don't like how it plays. I really don't like the combat.
How far are you, though?
I immediately hated the characters. I'm pretty early on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I had the same problem, too, and it got really damn good. But you got to make it like 5-6 hours.
When it like opens up.
You gotta get out of the
I
first
think we're
area.
about 3 hours into the game. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
There's like a whole new world out there.
Okay.
And the combat gets way better because you upgrade those skills. I just wish a lot of that combat that you get is just available at the beginning.
Okay.
Because it's a slog otherwise.
Yeah, like just in terms of like the early story stuff and the early like exploration and shit like that, like it was lame.
Yeah.
Like the tutorial area, like it opens with like a really like I'm guessing it's some kind of tease, some sort of kind of story tease, like cold open kind of thing.
Yep.
But it sucks. Like you have no context or understanding what's going on. Like the thing with the knife and the mask. And that's dumb. And then like all of a sudden like it jumps around and it's confusing. And I'm getting that they're trying to like start kind of quote unquote mid action, like they're kind of like just dropping you into the world. They don't do a great job of it though.
I thought the game started off really bad.
Yeah, like
really enjoyed it.
Are you still in the first area before going?
Yeah. Oh, yes, definitely.
Okay. Yeah. Once you leave there, it gets way better.
Yeah. Bayek, I did not like so far. Like I think he's kind of a dick.
I didn't either. You will.
Okay.
You will.
Okay. Cool.
Everything changes.
Yeah. Just stick with it.
Yeah. All right. I will. I promise I will. But I just kind of wanted to say, like, it just immediately playing that game leaves a bad taste on my mouth. Yeah. It's really interesting. Like the opening of that game, I'm like, ugh, I'm put off by this. Yeah. But I was also put off like just by the setting and stuff. Like I'm so fucking done with ancient Egypt.
But the look that game is absolutely gorgeous.
It looks beautiful.
It's one of the prettiest games I've ever seen.
Best looking camels in a video game ever. So I played that. I started playing Destiny 2 again. I started playing. I wanted to see because they've done some content changes since Trials of Osiris, or not Trials of Osiris. I keep saying Curse of Osiris. Yeah. So I started playing through Curse again with my Warlock character, and that's kind of interesting. It feels a little bit different.
Yeah.
Like the shooting and stuff feels a little bit different.
Like they've done some tuning?
Yeah, I mean they definitely have. I can't quite put my finger on it. But it just reminded me that game still has this amazing rhythm to it. Like where you go like shoot, jump, grenade, ability. Like it just feels like a dance. Like it feels amazing. Yeah. Like it's still a great game to play, which makes me so sad that the story sucks dick. Yep. And again, the story has the potential to be really great because we've talked about this before. The game world is really good.
Yeah.
So and it just keeps reminding me of that. Like when you're fighting like the Future Vex and stuff like that, you're like, oh yeah, I forgot about those guys, and they look really cool, and they've got like spaceship heads, and anyway. Nice. So I played that, and here's where shit gets weird.
Yeah, can you tell me something weird was coming?
I played BioShock Infinite.
Why?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
I was talking.
Well, it is a great game.
And you know what? It has its problems, but it's really fucking good.
It's really fun.
It really holds up. the presentation of that game is like so good. The story is still amazing.
Yeah.
I think arguably, I think the thing that where the game falls down the most is like the gameplay loop is a little.
That's
too repetitive.
exactly what I hated about it was
Yeah.
the combat, the gameplay loop. All like the presentation and story are amazing.
Yeah.
But man, that like sitting in some of those gunfights for like 10 to 15 minutes, I'm just like, I could be doing something else right now.
Yeah, some of that stuff, like also like the intro drags on way too long. Like it's literally like an hour before you pick up a gun.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's really long.
But it's more to sort of acclimate you with that world, which I didn't mind. I actually kind of like that.
I mean, I get that. It just feels like the pacing is not quite right.
Okay.
Like it's still like in terms of like what it's trying to. It feels like they're too busy trying to do like a movie like presentation, and they forget to balance it with like sort of like the gameplay tutorial stuff. Like there's a point where like you like when you first arrive in Colombia, and there's the whole thing with like they're baptizing people, and like you have to stand there and like listen to a guy talk for like 5 minutes in a really repetitive, weird way, and it feels really uncomfortable.
You got to receive the baptism.
Yeah, and then it's like then you're like, wait, what do I do? And it's like press X to step into the circle. I'm like, wait, what? Like it's all stuff that like games would do for you now. Like you would step up and then it would just take control away from you.
Right.
Or like press X to receive baptism. Like you just walk up to the guy and then he would just do it, right? As opposed to
Hey, he needs your consent first. You can't just baptize the guy.
Yeah.
So press an X.
I feel like this is going to get into dangerous territory.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So it was a little weird. So that was the weird one.
Okay, nice.
Game holds up though. Still, some of the best presentation in a video game ever. And like the music, like all like the barbershop quartet versions of like pop songs. Like God Only Knows is the first one you hear by the Beach Boys, and there's like Everybody Wants to Rule the World.
It is one of them that comes up at some point.
It comes up like there's that scene with like the dimensional tear, and like you see like Revenge of the Jedi, and oh fuck, the game is so good.
I love like flying around on the rails with like your hook hand or whatever. It's fun as hell.
Yeah, it is actually quite fun.
Nice. It's just the middle part of the game is really the problem I have with Bioshock Infinite.
That whole slog.
But the beginning and the end, amazing.
Yeah.
But just the middle was my biggest beef with that.
Horse on Fire.
Exactly.
That was apparently like their thing was like that was like their touchstone moment when they realized that they were onto something. Was the whole like it was the dying horse moment, I think, or something like that. Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
It's okay. So what I played this week, I'll run through this real quick. Again, I played the big game I was playing from 2017 this week, Resident Evil 7, which I started last year in January but never finished. First of all, I can't even believe that game is a year old at this point, but I've almost finished it finally, and that game is amazing. It's one of the best survival horror games ever. Again, it totally takes that Resident Evil formula, like the Resident Evil gameplay from third person, and puts it in first person, which makes it so much more scary. But like, I love all the demented family and exploring the house and stuff. It falls off a little bit towards the end, but I've been really enjoying Resident Evil 7 so far, and I can't wait to finish it because there's lots of games coming out this week that I will be playing. I also played a lot of a game this week. I played a lot of Redacted. I can't talk about it.
What?
Redacted. I played Redacted this week.
Is that the?
Oh, is that a joke you made after?
Yes.
Redacted is that the game? Is it the thing that we've been talking about?
It's the thing we've been talking about. And then last but not least, I played some World of Warcraft because patch 7.35 is out this week.
Yeah.
And it's very exciting. But I will play that more because the allied races are coming sometime in the next month or two, which are the new races to World of Warcraft. So I'm excited to play through those.
To answer your question, Ryan signed an NDA for a game that's been in beta for a long time. And we've talked about it, you just don't remember.
Yeah.
That sounds all right.
It's all good. So let's talk about the news this week. Oh, I played Dragon Ball FighterZ this week as well.
Oh, I know what it is.
Which was fucking awesome.
I remember.
Yamcha.
Dragon Ball FighterZ was a lot of fun, and I cannot wait to play the final product this week.
Metal Gear Survive.
Did you actually get a chance to play it?
I didn't play. I downloaded it and then forgot to play it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play it probably today.
Again, I tried to find a game for like 20 minutes and couldn't find anyone.
So the scuttlebutt is, hey, it's actually kind of a fun survival game. It is not a Metal Gear game at all.
It's also very different from what we were presented in the trailers, because the trailers made it feel like Umbrella Chronicles, like it was this like 4-player co-op shooter where you killed zombies, but it's actually not like that at all. It's more like DayZ or even the survival mode from Fallout New Vegas, where you're very much looking for food and water and supplies to not die from starvation or from not having enough titanium to build guns with.
Yeah.
Like, it seems pretty cool. Like, it's more interesting than I thought it would be. But I'm still not excited to play it because the controls, just playing around in the menus, because it lets you play around with the controls before finding people to play with, do not feel great at all. So, like, they feel even looser than the Metal Gear 5 controls.
Yeah.
So, I'm interested to see how that works. So, three quick news stories because we've been here for a bit. So, first up, the bonus episode for Life is Strange Before the Storm has a release date. Farewell will arrive on March 6th. To celebrate, there's also a physical release of the game coming, including a $70 version that comes with a vinyl soundtrack and art book. I'm really excited to play Farewell. I know that you were a little bit bummed, Brock, that it wasn't out sooner, but I'm really excited to see what that is and then sort of say goodbye to those characters, essentially, because that'll be the last time we sort of see Chloe and Max in this universe, because Life is Strange 2, from what we keep hearing, is going to focus on new characters and maybe even a new town. So I'm interested to see how that's going to work. Next up, Drew, this is relevant to our interests. Foxnet Games, which is a subsidiary of 20th Century Fox, they were just formed, I think, like 6 months ago to make 20th Century Fox games, essentially. They've announced that they've acquired Cold Iron Studios, which is a new studio. They are developing a new game based in the Alien cinematic universe. It'll be a shooter arriving on PC and unspecified consoles sometime this year.
Okay.
Are we at all excited about this? Because we're huge Alien fans.
No, because I totally have, like, Alien video game fatigue.
Especially because, like, what I really wanted from an Alien game was either Isolation 2 or a sequel to Alien Infestation, which is the DS game. And this is neither of those things, because the last Alien shooter we got was Colonial Marines. Yeah. And the last one before that was that AVP game in 2007 that was also really bad.
Was it not? That was the
Xbox 360.
That was the Rebellion one.
That was the Rebellion one, yeah.
Yeah, because it was Rebellion, Monolith, and Rebellion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Rebellion did the first one.
Because the Monolith one is the good one. Because Monolith's a good developer, and that game's really good.
Yes.
It's really underrated, especially because it plays so much like No One Lives Forever, which is also a really good Monolith game as well.
Nolf.
And
it's so sad what happened to Monolith, man.
How they're continuing to make Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War forever.
Well, I mean, at this point, but just like they were this amazing studio, they did some incredible, groundbreaking, really cool things. They made games like Blood and Nolf and like a bunch of other weird, crazy games.
They also made Fear as well, a game series that I really like.
That weird, what's it called? The mech game.
It wasn't MechWarrior or something else.
No.
It wasn't Chromehounds either, because that's From Software.
The anime mech game. It was like the first sort of like really sort of like heavily anime inspired game that came out from a North American developer.
Yeah. I don't.
You'll know what it is when you see it.
Yeah.
Like, that game.
I just can't think of it now.
Yeah, really, really interesting, cool game.
Yeah.
Like they've done some really groundbreaking stuff.
They've also done a whole bunch of different work.
Yeah, and like a bunch of like they did like they did the Neo game. What was it fucking called? The Matrix Online.
Oh, they didn't do the Matrix Online. They did Path of Neo.
Path of Neo. That was it.
That was the one where you actually played as Neo, not Enter the Matrix, which was really bad.
Yes, it was terrible, and they shut it down.
Because Path of Neo was actually an okay game. It wasn't amazing, but it was actually pretty good.
But like, I don't know. I feel like they've had like at a certain point they just kind of like disappeared. I think are they now based out of China?
No, Monolith are the people who made Shadow of War.
Yeah, well, I know they made Shadow of War,
but they're not based out of China. They're here in North America.
Are they?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And they have a European studio. They have a European second studio.
They kind of disappeared for a while. They were doing...
Because again, they did the three Fear games.
Yeah.
And then they did Middle Earth Shadow of Mordor.
That was it. By the time we hit the third Fear game was terrible.
Yeah.
I mean...
Well, no, it played really well, but the story was all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was half the reason why you played Fear.
Yeah. Because Fear 1 is still an amazing game.
Fear 1 is an incredible game.
I played it again last year, and it was still awesome.
It's spooky as hell.
Yeah.
It does have one problem though, and that the title is an acronym. Fear. First Encounter, Assault, and Recon.
Yeah, it's so really dumb. It's so dumb.
But yeah, it's a really cool game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see what this Alien shooter is, but Alien shooters have always never been what we wanted from that franchise. Like they've historically never worked out the way we wanted them to, which is why I'm not really excited about this. Like I'm interested to see what this is because I love the Alien franchise. But
me too.
Also, in theory, Alien Cinematic Universe could also mean that it's a AVP game again as well.
Maybe. I kind of
is-
feel like that whole thing is kind of dead now. They kind of like beat that to death.
Game format works so much better than like the Aliens shooter kind of thing.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
like it's. I kind of feel like you have one of two games with when it comes to aliens. You've either got the kind of game like Isolation, where like the alien is like the ultimate bad guy and you're trying to get away from them,
Yeah.
or it's either Colonial Marines / AVP, where you're hunting them down,
Right.
It's either you empower people
Because
or
you always feel way too powerful in those games, and that's where the franchise falls apart.
yeah,
Because it doesn't feel like you're an alien.
yeah,
And
yeah.
Brock's just like, this is how
I'm Symbol Monkey.
He did a long time ago.
Yeah.
We love Alien, and
Yeah.
we just want to see a great game that sort of lives up to the potential of that. But I mean, the reality is that the Alien franchise in general is just kind of in a shitty spot right
But Alien Isolation was so good.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
Isolation is probably one of the best things that ever happened to Alien.
And now that the rights to Alien no longer belong to Sega,
Yeah.
I don't think we'll ever see a game like that again.
No.
Which is too bad because Resident Evil 7 is all the things I like about Resident Evil 7 are the things I liked about Alien Isolation.
Yeah.
Which makes me sad because I want another game like that.
Yeah, it's a real bummer because I mean, like we've also like the movies are in a shitty spot right now. We don't know if we're gonna get another one
because Ridley Scott won't shut up.
And
Ridley Scott's an idiot.
Yeah, I mean there will probably be another one before the Disney merger happens because that merger isn't final until like next year sometime.
But even at that though, if there are projects on the go, like they're gonna
like the
finish them.
X-Men movies are still coming out.
Well, unfortunately.
like contracts have been signed and shit's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, those movies again, like those movies are like very up and down. Like, so like we've got like the first X-Men movie, which is great. The second one, X-Men movie, which is pretty good. The third one, which is horrible. And then you've got things like in First Class.
All the Wolverine ones that were just brutal.
First Class is good, but then X-Men Origins Wolverine is fucking awful. And then The Wolverine is okay. And then you got Logan, which is amazing. And you've got Deadpool, which is great.
That's kind of
and then
20th
you've got
Century Fox's thing.
Age of Apocalypse, which is garbage.
Yep. Days of Future Past is okay.
Days of Future Past is okay.
Yeah.
You have a Gambit movie apparently coming out.
Oh, really, really bad.
That'll actually come out though around when the merger happens with Disney.
Yeah.
Which is sad.
Yeah.
Because that'll be like the last.
It will not. It doesn't even have a director.
I still don't even
that
think
movie is never coming out.
Yeah.
I don't know. That Tomb Raider movie's coming out in a month, and I didn't think that was ever going to come out.
It looks pretty good.
It actually
looks
looks
like
okay.
a good popcorn flick.
Yeah. I mean, the setting for the Tomb Raider reboot was pretty good, right?
Yeah.
In terms of like the tone and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Other than the weird sort of torture porn aspect to it.
Yeah.
I mean, the setting was kind of cool. Like the whole idea that like, she's like a real human being whose breasts aren't actually flotation devices.
Or aren't super pointy.
Yeah.
Poke your eye out on those.
Well, the whole thing was like she was proportioned like literally like a Barbie. Like
Exactly.
she would topple in real life if physics were to be applied to this. That she would die immediately. Like her spine would just collapse.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was interesting to see like that kind of take on it and give her more agency and make her seem kind of like a badass. And
Yeah.
so yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
But I mean, like you can only do so many of those like wacky adventure movies.
Exactly.
Walter Goggins is in it, so I want to see it.
I mean, Walter
because
Goggins
Walter Goggins is the best.
Yeah, he's dope.
Yeah. Fun fact about Cold Iron Studios as well, just to finish off the story, is that they're a new studio, but they're made up of former retro developers who worked on Metroid Prime 3. They're also made up of people who used to work at Irrational on BioShock Infinite. So I'm interested to see what kind of game they're going to put out.
Yeah.
But last but not least, Brock, I hope you like fishing because we're going to talk about it. Square Enix has announced that the PC version of Final Fantasy 15 will be coming on March 6th. They've also announced the Final Fantasy 15 Royal Edition, which includes all of the Season Pass content with the original game, plus new exclusive content, including a boat that allows you to sail between the two areas, because there was an island area, and then there's the main area you start in, and the best part about it is you can fish while you're on the boat.
Wow, exciting!
So if you
Couldn't think of anything more riveting going into that game.
Exactly. So if you want the Royal Edition and you already own Final Fantasy 15, you can upgrade for $20 US. Again, there's no Canadian pricing on this either for some reason. But it'll be interesting to see how that game runs on PC. And I don't know, people like that game. I don't, because I just
Sensible person.
I like Final Fantasy. I don't like that game because it plays like a more broken version of Kingdom Hearts. So there you go. That's my 2 cents on Final Fantasy 15 right there.
I actually didn't mind the game. The story was so convoluted.
Yeah.
I like the combat.
And, like-
though. I had a great time with the combat. I like the characters, but I just found the story just brutal.
Yeah.
And there was so much like slogging around and just no need for it.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, before we go, let's quickly touch on this week's new releases because there's a lot of games this week. It's like the first week of games coming out, really. So this week we've got Lost Sphere. Comes out on Tuesday. It's the new game from the I Am Setsuna developers, JRPG Factory, or just RPG Factory out of Square Enix. Really excited for that game because I loved I Am Setsuna.
It's a Switch
I know
title,
you
right?
did as well. Switch
Or
and
PS4?
Switch and PS4.
I'm gonna get it on the Switch.
Yeah.
Nice.
I already have my PS4 version coming on Tuesday. Next up, The Impatient comes out this week. That is the prequel to Until Dawn.
That's right.
Where you are basically in the insane asylum in Until Dawn before it gets wrecked.
Yeah.
It takes
What?
place before then.
This is a game that's coming out.
It is. It's a PlayStation VR exclusive.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you
Bummer.
wheel around in a wheelchair, just like at the beginning of Wolfenstein, and it's in first person. It looks really interesting, but I wish it wasn't. You could play it without VR. But
You play as a
unfortunately,
ninja.
no ninjas.
that'd be weird. The left turn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully, this means though that the Until Dawn franchise isn't dead, and there will be another one eventually,
Please.
like Until Dawn 2 or something.
Until Dawn's so good.
Yeah. Even if it doesn't take place in the same house, I would love to see it in like a new location,
Like
with new characters.
What's Hayden Panettiere doing? Like nothing. Like
Nothing.
Yeah.
But
nothing.
depending on your choices, Drew, she could have died or lived.
Yeah, who cares?
Because anyone could have died or lived in that game.
Fair enough.
Next up, Celeste is out this week. This is the game we talked about last week, coming to Switch and other consoles. Made by the makers of Towerfall Ascension. Dragon Ball Fighters comes out on Friday. I am super hyped for Dragon Ball Fighters. After playing the beta, I'm all in on this game. I cannot wait to play it.
I'm really stoked.
Speaking of Dragon Ball Fighters, I should mention on the channel this weekend there will be an unboxing of the collector's edition. I will be having it come in on Friday, so I'm going to unbox it, and there will be a video on it.
I'll be watching.
Cool.
Excellent.
I want to know what's in it.
It comes with an amazing Goku statue.
You should live stream that
It
shit.
looks amazing.
Get live on Mixer with that.
Yeah, do it up.
Yeah.
Next up, Monster Hunter World.
Ooh.
Out this week, out on Friday as well.
Okay.
This is the big game this week that I know a lot of people are really excited about Monster Hunter World.
Yeah.
Because it's the first time we've had like a console Monster Hunter in God knows how long. Like there hasn't been, because they've all been 3DS or PSP games for the longest time. Next up, Pokemon Crystal comes to 3DS Virtual Console this week. So that we had Silver and Gold, and now we have Crystal out this week to sort of complete that. Wonder Boy: The Dragon's Trap comes out on Switch this week.
It
Finally.
is a great game.
It was our pick for best remaster of 2017, so check it out. And last but not least, Batman: The Enemy Within, Episode 4, What Ails You, out this week.
Fuck, they're taking their time with this game, man.
It was like 3 months between this one and the last.
It is
episode.
ridiculous.
At this point, I've decided to wait till it's all out.
Yeah, I'm not starting now. I'm
'Cause-
waiting like 4 months for another episode.
Because I really liked Episode 1, but like when 2 and 3 came out, I didn't play them right away. So now I'm just like, okay, just wait till they're all out.
I thought episode 4 came out this week. There were so many screenshots from it.
Yeah.
Next week.
Yeah. It was because it was all over the press cycle. The Joker thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Joker thing.
The Joker thing.
Yeah.
All right. So
John Doe, you mean?
Yeah.
John Doe.
Spoiler: there's a Joker in a Batman game.
Whoa.
Spoiler.
his name's not Joker, though. His name's John Doe.
Anyway,
So before we go, Drew Plugs go.
I'm at D McMillan on Twitter. Yeah. I'm this is my negative body language.
Daddy Drew.
Closed off. I'm at D McMillan on Twitter, and my Xbox One X review. I mean, it's more like just like a feature article. I don't know if you can call it really a review.
I mean, it's a review because you talk about your thoughts of the console,
Yeah, and I'm-
but also more about
I'm gonna
these
try.
types of consoles.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to give it a score. I mean, I don't know how you do that sort of thing.
You should.
I'm very appreciative of the time that we had with it. Our friends at Microsoft sent us the unit so we could try it out, and
And we talked about it a lot last year.
yeah,
as well.
it's well, again, it's kind of a new exciting thing.
Yeah.
The fact that they just kind of shot so far ahead with like what a console can do, but how fully backwards compatible it is. The fact that like I just went, hey, I kind of want to play Dead Space, and then just went on the store, and then I was playing Dead Space in like 5 minutes.
You mean like how I played Ninja Gaiden Black Master Ninja Melee
well,
and original
yeah.
Xbox games?
I was built a shelf yesterday, and I was putting I was like, I have all these PS3 games. I was putting them on the shelf, and I was like, fuck, I don't even need these fucking things. Like, what am I gonna do? I'm not gonna put them in my PS4, like PS3, and open that up.
Yeah.
That thing runs horribly now.
Yeah.
That's why, because I have all my 360 games on the shelf behind us, but not my PS3 games because I don't really have them anymore because I don't have a PS3 anymore.
But that's part of the thing we're going to talk about is that, like, you know, that whole that whole experience is pretty seamless.
Yeah.
I like the new interface. I know you guys don't love it. I actually like it a lot. I've always preferred the Xbox.
New Xbox interface? Or
Yeah, the new like Xbox UI.
Yeah, I think it's much better than the launch Xbox.
I do not like it.
Yeah, you still. I mean, I still
do not like it.
I still don't like the PlayStation. I still like the cross media bar thing. I don't know.
Yeah. Whereas I've just been, I'm so used to the PlayStation one that's why it's harder for me to go to the
I've
Xbox.
always felt more at home on the Xbox, I guess. Like, I've been an Xbox 360. I was an Xbox 360 guy for a long time. That was my first console for everything. And so, like, it just kind of, it feels a little weird to...
Yeah.
Anyway, so, yeah. Look to that coming to the site soon. I'll let you know.
Also, before we go to Brock's plugs, I do want to mention as well, I want to say thank you to, again, for everyone who sort of reached out to us, actually, with saying that they referred to us by your appearance on We the Gamercast.
Oh, yes,
Because
yeah.
we had I had a couple people message me saying, hey, by the way, I found you because of Sean Capri's show.
Yeah, so thanks for everybody for listening to that and then coming to the show and checking us out.
I hope you guys like our content.
Yeah. Yeah, we'd say dirty things every once in a while.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah. That was great fun. Sean and I have talked about it again since. I'm really looking forward to doing a show again because Sean and I, we have so much more to talk about. So we're going to do something.
Yeah.
As soon as we figure that out, we'll let you know.
Perfect. And Brock, where can people find you?
Well, you can find me on the website, brockstargaming.com. You can find me on Twitter, @BrockMcLaughlin.
Yeah.
And I'm available for your children's birthday parties. I can dress up like a clown and do some balloon animals.
I would.
Highly advise against this.
If I'm going to give some advice right now, don't do that.
Although Brock promises to bring his Nintendo Labo set with him.
Yeah.
They can dress like a robot.
Don't. He's going to bring he's going to bring his Labo strap on. Don't let Brock anywhere near your children.
Good God.
Yeah.
And my name is actually Labo the Clown. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Cardboard pleasure.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
I bring my power glove for extra fun.
Oh yeah.
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 What do you think? Right at the
So
butthole?
bad.
Yeah. I mean, so many C batteries.
Yeah.
Many C batteries.
The best.
Yeah.
The best type of battery.
I'm gonna buy one after this podcast. I think.
What? A power
I'm gonna
glove?
order a power glove and a Rob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Rob is pretty dope.
I want the Rob.
Just Rob on your shelf looks good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Are you saying the power glove on your shelf does not fill your
Well, I
shelf
need
with
to get a power glove holder as well.
Yeah, if you have like a power glove and like a mannequin arm to put it on,
Like a Thanos arm.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty sweet.
You know,
Exactly.
really a Thanos arm or like the T-800 arm from Terminator 2 with the power glove on it.
I'd probably go to the sex shop and get an arm too.
That would be like the ultimate 80s. That's a fist.
Yeah, that's a fist.
You're
Like a
thinking-
fist. So I can put the power glove on the fist.
You're thinking-
Yeah.
Right.
I'm thinking of a good fisting.
And that's where the show went off the rails.
No, it's
ladies
not.
and
It was a long time ago.
It is
Ryan.
not.
It was a long time ago.
It has been going off the rails for a while.
Fun fact, I actually used to have a T8 arm on my shelf that was like this long, like the length of my arm.
That's really cool.
That
I
is
wish I
really
had
cool.
it. Yeah.
I wish I still
That
had
is
it.
really cool.
Yeah, then you can put your power glove
It
on.
broke while moving, so I don't have it. As for me, you can find
Moving your
me.
body on top of it. Okay.
Jesus Christ, Brock.
It's very upsetting.
As for me, Brock, you can find me on Twitter at Ryan Turford. That's TURFORD. You can find Game Moose at game-moose.com, including my unboxing of Dragon Ball FighterZ Collector's Edition on game-moose.com/video later this week. Again, I won't have the collection until Friday, so it probably won't be up until either Friday night or Saturday.
Cool.
Last but not least, you can find us on Twitter at game_moose_cast, on Facebook at facebook.com/game@moosepodcast. If you want to listen to the show again off the website, you can also subscribe to us on iTunes or other podcast services around the globe. Anyways, for Drew McMillan and Brock McLaughlin, I'm Ryan Turford. This has been episode 109 of the Game Moose Podcast, and we're out.